Hello everyone, my name is Ollamh, and welcome to the brand new Geek Corner. This is a more relaxed area where we will be doing reviews, low-key conversations, updates, that type of thing. Today we are going to be doing an actual review of the Space Quest series. Now I know, we covered the plots and some of the Easter eggs and such in our Geek Trivia this week, but I wanted to give a more spoiler-free and honest review of the series from a game mechanics viewpoint. So let's get into it, shall we? The Space Quest series covers a wide swath of the adventure game timeline, spanning almost 10 years, from 1986 to 1995. Now that the collection is available, you can kind of see what the progression of the games was like. That being said, the first game is a bit of a switch. In Game 1, there are much better graphics than the original had, and it's point and click instead of cursor type. Personally, I wish they had included both the EGA version and the updated VGA version. To get a truly honest example of how games were at that time, one needs to play Space Quest 2. The graphics are very basic, and the interface is text-based parser. These types of games were very challenging as they did not pause the action when you were typing out what you wanted to do. As you were typing to open a door, someone could easily come along behind you and kill you. That of course changed in Game 3 when they changed to a text box that paused the game action while you typed. So, be warned, if you do not have fast, accurate typing skills, the first few games will be extra hard for you. That being said, if you want a fun, challenging way to improve your typing skills, these types of games are great for that. I owe my typing skills entirely to these games, and the many deaths that happened when I honed those skills. Speaking of death, it will happen quickly and often. Current games are very forgiving on character death. With most of the Sierra games, you had to save a lot. Almost every single time you did anything, really. And this is one of the things that will really annoy younger and more modern gamers. There are no checkpoints. It's up to you to tell the game when to save. And while the deaths in Space Quest series are plentiful, they are also kind of fun. From trying to pick up a sheet of metal and slicing an artery, to getting swallowed whole by a tapeworm, and told that you're going to wind up giving it heartburn. The two guys from Andromeda do make them fun and entertaining. So, if you venture into the world of Space Quest games, be prepared to die. And remember, it doesn't mean that you're bad at the game, it just means that the game is challenging. Another potential annoyance is the fact that you can completely miss things that you will need later. This is true even in the 4th installment of the series. If you don't pick up a glass jar and get a sample of corrosive slime, you will find that you are stuck at a door towards the end of the game with no way of progressing. This is one of the things that was always irritating with early Sierra adventure games. They tried to tell you about it in their instruction booklets by telling you to pick up everything that isn't nailed down. And if it is nailed down, look for loose nails. So, another warning. If you like your adventure games more modern where they do not let you advance without completing every task and collecting everything needed, these games may not be for you. Also, in some of the later games, it is actually possible to pick up things that you do not want to have, such as an artillery shell, which blows up when you drop down into a new section of the map. This is one of the traps for the seasoned adventurer. I always felt it was kind of a crappy thing to do. They tell you to pick up everything that's not nailed down and then punish you for following their directions. Now, the games are not very long. Most of them can be beaten in the span of a few hours if you know what you're doing and really focus on doing it. Therefore, there is a bit of a trade-off on game length versus difficulty of getting everything right the first time. If you're looking for a lengthy game that you will be progressing through for days, these are not the games for you. But if you don't mind short games that really ramp up the challenge, they are worth checking out. As you might have guessed, graphic and audio-wise, these games are not the greatest. I think they've aged pretty well as long as you keep in mind that they span from 86 to 95. The early games are very pixelized, and then they move towards trying to make them more realistic, and then actually back off to a more cartoony but sharper visual. The warning here is obvious. If you are looking for sharp, crisp, beautiful graphics on par with today's capabilities, you will be disappointed. At the same time, though, if you really want to appreciate the graphics of today, I can't think of anything better than going through the series and really seeing the progression that led us here. So, with all that said, what is the final judgment on the Space Quest series? Are they worth playing? I would have to say yes. These are still great games and great stories. They really show the progression of technology and game development. They aren't beautiful in the modern sense, but they do have a classical beauty to them. And I think with the popularization of pixelized art in indie games, this series being re-released is perfect timing. They aren't the longest, most detailed games, but they have a challenging side to them that just isn't in modern games. The early games actually made use of the full keyboard, not just the WASD, Shift, Control, and Space keys. For me, these games will always have a special place in my heart. They were great when I was just a kid, and they bring back that youthful amazement at designing a game and story for someone to adventure through and enjoy. So if you are interested in seeing some of the influential games in history, the Space Quest series is a key series to get. As always, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!